Welcome to Headline to Heartline. Today, we're bringing you the latest updates on Princess Anne, and as you would expect, they are the kind of royal news that still does the heart good. Because with a figure like Anne, such a lasting example of duty, dignity, and service, the best news is always the next good thing she quietly goes on to do. And that feels especially worth saying right now, at a time when so much royal coverage is dominated by difficulty, scandal, and strain. Princess Anne remains one of the few members of the family whose name still suggests steadiness before anything else. While other royal stories can feel noisy, Anne's tend to feel grounding. She does not chase attention, and perhaps that is exactly why attention follows her with such deep respect. The most recent updates only strengthen that impression. On March 4, 2026, Princess Anne traveled to Brecon in Wales alongside Prince William and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, for a Thanksgiving service in memory of Dame Sian Leg Bork, a longtime friend of the family and a former lady-in-waiting to Anne. It was not a glamorous engagement, nor was it meant to be. It was solemn, loyal, and deeply in keeping with the kind of royal life Anne has always represented, one built on showing up, paying tribute, and doing so without fuss. The day before, on March 3rd, the official court circular recorded another full schedule for the Princess Royal. She marked the centennial of the Gloucestershire Playing Fields Association, opened Westminster Pavilion, then continued on to Cirencester for visits including the Old Department Store and the Churn Community Hub's 25th anniversary. These are the sort of engagements that often pass beneath the louder headlines, but they are exactly what explain Anne's standing. Her reputation has never depended on spectacle. It has been built the old-fashioned way, by repetition, discipline, and a willingness to go where she is needed. And yes, there was also a notable recent moment linked to the Winter Olympic Games. On February 18th, Buckingham Palace confirmed that Princess Anne had been in Italy for the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics in her role as president of Team GB. During that visit, she watched events including curling and snowboarding, and she presented medals for the women's snowboard big air final. It was a perfect reminder that Anne's public relevance is not confined to royal ceremony. She still carries real weight in British sporting life, and she does so with the kind of credibility that comes from personal history, not just title. That Olympic appearance also connects beautifully with another recent honor. This month, it was announced that a major race at the Cheltenham Festival is being renamed the Princess Royal Challenge Cup Open Hunter Steeplechase in her honor. That is not merely a polite royal tribute, it is recognition of a serious sporting legacy. Anne was the first British royal to compete in the Olympic Games, riding for Britain in Montreal in 1976, after winning individual gold at the 1971 European Eventing Championships. So when she appears at an Olympic event in 2026, or when the racing world honors her now, the respect feels fully earned. There have also been lighter moments that say something meaningful about her public appeal. During the Six Nations match in Rome on February 7th, she was shown on the stadium screen and greeted with warm applause from the crowd. It was spontaneous, affectionate, and completely unforced. Anne's reaction, slightly amused and almost shy, only made the moment more charming. Public affection of that kind cannot be manufactured. It grows over years, even decades, when people come to recognize the difference between celebrity and character. And when we look back from 2025 into the present day, the larger case for Anne becomes even stronger. In 2025, she carried out 478 official engagements, placing her just behind King Charles. That is an extraordinary workload by any standard, and especially remarkable for a woman in her 70s who has been doing this for more than half a century. It confirms what many royal watchers and many ordinary admirers have long believed. Princess Anne is not simply respected because she is there. She is respected because she works. One of the clearest examples came on September 30th, 2025, when Anne visited Kyiv to support children and families affected by the war in Ukraine. It was a serious, compassionate visit, and exactly the kind of duty that tends to define Anne's royal life. Not loud, not theatrical, but substantial. That is why Princess Anne matters so much in this particular moment. The news around Prince Andrew is important and deserves serious attention. No one should pretend otherwise. But if that becomes the whole story of the monarchy, then we lose sight of something equally important and true. There are still members of the royal family who embody the values the institution most needs in a crisis. Anne is one of them. In fact, she may be the clearest example of all. She doesn't quiet the noise by arguing with it. She quiets it by offering a contrast to it: duty instead of self-display, constancy instead of confusion, service instead of drama. For many viewers, especially those who have watched the monarchy across several generations, that is precisely why Anne still feels so reassuring. She belongs to a tradition of royal life that many people still admire, a tradition in which public service is not a performance and loyalty is not a slogan. She doesn't need to announce her relevance, she proves it every week. So the latest update on Princess Anne as of March 6, 2026, is not dramatic in the way modern royal headlines often demand. It is better than dramatic. It is solid. A memorial service in Wales on March 4, community engagements in Gloucestershire on March 3rd, a major Team GB role at the Winter Olympics in February, a public sporting honour at Cheltenham this month, and behind all of it, the larger truth carried forward from 2025. Princess Anne remains one of the most important working royals in Britain, and one of the few whose example still makes the monarchy look quieter, steadier, and better than its worst headlines. And before we close, if you enjoy this kind of thoughtful royal coverage, please do subscribe and give this video a like. It really helps the channel, and it helps us keep bringing you stories that look beyond the noise and back toward what truly matters. Until next time, thank you for watching Headline to Heartline.